Okay, so let's see. All right, so this is going to be the Norfair section of my map completion tutorial. So yeah, we'll just get into it. So we're just going to be getting high jump. Whatever strat you want to do is fine. Similar to how you do it in any percent KPDR. And then, so, here's another one of those, like, optional item pickups you could get. So these high jump missiles, I would actually recommend you get them if you want safety with missiles. Just make sure, like I said earlier, not to go over 30 missiles maximum. I think I misspoke in my earlier tutorial where I said that I get 25. Actually, I only get 20. So you can get 2 extra missiles from the ones that I grabbed. So, you can just do whatever strat you do in any percent. Shoot the door open early, that kind of stuff. In this tutorial, though, I'm going to be skipping these missile packs because I don't get them in my runs. And it's perfectly fine because you can still get 20 missiles anyways. There's another missile pack that's way faster. I mean, you only lose a second by getting this missile, so it's not that bad, but it is faster, and it's just, I guess, simpler to grab in a way, in my opinion at least. That I will touch upon once we get to wreck ship, but yeah. So I'm not going to be opening this door early because I like to skip high jump missiles. And grab the boots. Kill the enemy with a bomb. And then Business Center, also the same. Very standard stuff. Alright, so, what's this room? Pre-Cathedral? Yeah, so Pre-Cathedral, it's going to be a little bit altered. You're going to want to charge a beam. And then jump as soon as you make it past this pillar right here in the background. You're going to want to hold jump for as long as you get the tile up here that I just grabbed. And then, to save frames, you want to let go of jump as soon as you see that tile get highlighted. The top center one. There you go. And then I let go of jump. It's just, tiny bit faster so you're not in the air, like, for so long. And the charge is so that, it's just for, like, the added safety in case you get bad RNG and this hopper, like, jumps at you, basically. And you're going to do that. So, very simple. Just, you have to add in that extra jump, but Pre-Cathedral is basically the same. And then here, things get a little bit complicated. Okay, wow. I've never done that before. Diagonal tile movement is a thing. Most likely that's never going to happen because it's frame perfect. But yeah, could happen. So I'm going to mock ball here. And then I try to do like this kind of weird weavy thing. You want to barely scrape against this Nova guy. Like that. So you can get this tile, like this tile that I'm in right now, a little bit obnoxious. because you want to like lean ever so slightly towards the left here without bonking this Sova guy, and then you want to unmorph and jump over. Takes a little bit of practice down to get the timing. That's kind of like why I weave around a little bit, just so I can get that timing down. It's like a rhythm almost. So yeah, I would recommend just playing around with like what are the boundaries of this tile, right? Like it's like right here. You know, this is like the boundary. Just so you can get a little bit comfortable with like how close you can be with the Sova, or how far you need to be, stuff like that. And then once you get like that weave down, then you can just unmorph, jump, and do your standard cathedral strat with the charge. It's pretty easy to miss this tile, so you know, I would just make sure you have this strat down, like pat. A more optimal version, which I don't know if anyone wants to go for it, but you can do that. Actually, I don't even think you need to kill the Sova. Yeah, you don't, but you can do it without the mock ball. I prefer not to, just because it's not always consistent for me. But you do save like, actually I didn't save any frames there. Let me test. I think I would assume you would only save like 10 frames. But yeah, it's just like, it's pretty tight because you have to jump as late as you can to make it over this pillar that I'm shooting at without a mock ball. So I just prefer to do the mock ball. Make sure you get that weave right. And then proceed. And then I do upper rising tide. You can do lower. It's fine. Actually, I think it might be better to do lower rising tide in most circumstances just to save the health. Because we're going to have to be doing a lava dive coming up. Well, a lava dive, not the lava dive, but yeah. So conserving health would be pretty nice. If you're not like used to the lava dives that are coming up and the damage that you kind of have to take, the necessary damage. Then yeah, so I charge a shot coming in here to kill this waver. Come on. What? A weird speed. And then I can farm this waver with a pseudo screw like that. It kind of just helps out with the timing of it. It's not fast by any means. But I kind of like to farm this guy for health. Maybe like get a lucky super. Super drops here are extremely important because we're going to need a lot of them for Croc. And Croc does not really give supers. His like boss drops when you kill him, I think, are similar to bot wounds. So very low chance for him to actually like even give you super drops. At most, I've ever seen like someone get like maybe 2 or 3. So you need a lot of supers. And you know, every extra farm you do is like a second at speed bugs or Croc. So if you can get super drops along the way, that's excellent. If you don't want to get these drops, right, if you're fine with like farming at speed bugs or Croc early, you can also do this deboost. that I came up with. And then you get put in a pretty good spot, speed-wise, for the return jump into Bubble Mountain. You have like ever so much, like there's just like a slight pixel difference, but it makes a pretty big difference with like the jump to speed ratio or whatever it is, compared to just turning around. Because the other strat you would just turn around like this. So, you know, you get put like over here rather than like right next to the door. I have gotten the D-boost to be like a perfect door transition before. But yeah, it's kind of annoying. Yeah, that one was much better. You can also... I have thought about doing something like this, where you auto deselect missiles. So you can do 2 shots really quick. Kill the waiver, open the door, and just run through. So if you have missiles to spare, basically if you grab high jump missiles, you should always be able to do this strat. So if you find that more comfortable, then yeah, totally you could do that. Since I don't grab high jump missiles, I can't always guarantee that I'll be able to do this strat. It'll be easier if you know, do the auto deselect when you're in Rising Tide, obviously, rather than like me trying to fit this in right now. Yeah, that's pretty sick. Nice time. So yeah, there's that strat, the D-boost, which is pretty tough to optimize, but your entry, there you go, that's a good one. Your entry is sick, because then you can just have a perfect running speed, basically. There we go, that's good, that's really good. Alright, anyways, so yeah, usually I'll just do the pseudo screw so I can get the drop. It just helps with the timing, basically, is what it is. Okay. And then as you notice, this door I do not wall jump check because it ruins the door transition. So this door in particular, you do want to run through. Do not wall jump check this door. And then all you want to do is just turn around. Some like very subtle tech, kind of similar to morph ball turnarounds, like I mentioned in my previous tutorial. You want to just hold right for a little bit and then let go. As soon as you see Samus start turning around, just let go of the right. If you hold it, you'll see that Samus slides more. There he goes. Wait, I had it. So, see how basically I held right for a frame, and Samus is now closer to the door compared to if I hold right, Samus is now over here, like past this ledge, or this corner, whatever. Compared to this. So, you know, very, very tiny optimization. The sliding similar to morph ball, where if you like hold left straight out of holding right, if you like slide too quickly, Samus will like move farther away from where you want to go, basically. So, you know, just something to keep in mind if you're wanting to optimize your movement. There we go. 32. That's good. I think 32 or 31 is perfect. Like, you basically did a perfect room if you get a 32 or a 31. Unless you're doing boomerangs. And then I forget how long it takes for boomerangs to last. Maybe like 16. Or no, it's actually 01. Because you're only in the room for one frame. I'll talk about that later once we're in like Brinstar. But yeah, 32 or 31 is like perfect. You shot perfectly and you started running perfectly into the door. So you should always be trying to shoot for 32s. Or close to, at least. And then here, you basically have to kill the cack with a missile. Unless you want to waste time in the save room, like trying to charge a shot and everything. If I have 0 missiles here, like, I'm kind of screwed. Hopefully, like, the waiver farm that I did earlier gave me a missile. If not, then I kind of just have to deal with it. Which is, like, you know, one of the unfortunate things about map completion is it is pretty RNG dependent. If you don't get the right RNG, you are going to lose time. Outside of bosses, even, right? Like, just not getting the right drop RNG, you're going to be losing time everywhere. Very drop dependent. Oh, those were really good drops, by the way. 9-3, like, leaving speed bugs is excellent. That's kind of what I'm shooting for. Alright, so yeah, so this room, you're just going to want to shoot the cack with a missile. Try and land around here, and then jump over. Okay, so yeah, fairly simple. As long as you have a missile, you're good. Which is also probably something important to point out. Like, if you only have one missile, don't go for the missile, the auto deselect missile strat going into the save room. Because it's more important to have the missile for this cack than for the waiver. You lose more time from here than with the waiver. Alright, there you go. So, you can do Batcave however you want. I like to do a pre-farm. Not necessary unless you really need the super. I mostly just do pre-farm for preference. This room is the same as any percent, so you can take care of it however you want. Alright, cool. That's good drops. So, pre-speed, I can understand how this is really easy to forget just because in any other category, you would never, ever, like, just remember to stop and fall through these crumble blocks. So I recommend just make sure you practice this room, even though it's pretty simple in concept. Just try and get it in your muscle memory that in map completion, you want to fall through these crumble blocks. Because there are tiles beneath here that you can only grab by falling through them. I try to fall through the crumbles as close to this wall as I can, because then I can fit in a down grab just to save these frames. And then, yeah. If you want, you know, potentially an extra missile pack around here, you can grab the speed missiles. I would say comparing this to something like Green Brintstar reserve missiles, I would honestly grab the reserve missiles over this. This missile pack is kind of like a bit, how do I put it? Redundant, maybe? Because there's so many farms around here for missiles. And honestly, I would also just grab high jump missiles over this too. So these speed missiles, not a great idea to get, honestly. Then we're going to grab Speed Booster. And then, yeah, this is the reason why we have to grab these chroma blocks first, because then we get stuck in the lava and you're going to die. So you have to make sure that you get it before. Very, very, very important. You're going to have to break that muscle memory because, you know, you're so used to running through to get Speed Booster. Okay, so yeah, so this is very important to, so, you know, I like pushing it, honestly. I do put a lot of, like, emphasis, no, what's the word, I guess, I try pushing my luck, basically, and I rely on super drops a lot. But when you're starting out, I would really recommend just farming up to full supers at speed bugs before continuing. Because, you know, you have 2 red doors, and then you have the Croc super door, and then the Croc fight itself, which you really want to use supers on. You can use Charge Beam, but it's just slower, you know. The Croc fight without Plasma Beam does suck up a huge amount of time, and getting bad RNG loses you, I think, like every extra swipe is like 2 to 3 seconds. So if you are starting out, I would definitely just farm up to full supers. I will also be going over like the farms that I do, right? Trying to save time. Hoping that I get at least 1 super. At minimum, though, I would definitely try to leave speed bugs with 2 missiles, or sorry, 2 supers. I try not to use missiles on the doors, so I can have them for opening the Croc doors, post Croc, and so I can also use them on Croc himself. So yeah, leaving speed bugs farm with at least 2 supers is the minimum, basically. I would say 2 supers is the minimum. But since I got 5, I'll just go ahead and leave with 5. Make sure to conserve health here. Conserving health is really important because of the lava dive coming up, like I said. So I like to kill both of these guys. They both do the same damage, so yeah. I would just kill them. I kill them in my runs. You can go for the D-boost. It just means that your health just gets tighter and tighter, and there's less room for error if you take hits here. Less room for error later on. Yeah, and so there's my 15th missile. I do grab these missiles. You know, just so I can have the maximum run speed here. Skipping them is kind of silly. I could skip them if I wanted to do 15-10. That would be basically my last missile to skip, is wave missiles. If I'm like absolutely pushing for top times that are, you know, extremely optimal, like 115 map completion runs, then I would skip this missile pack. That would be the last one. But having the run speed here is pretty nice. I have had it happen a few times where my jump was like too good and I did a wall jump and everything and I did not grab this bottom tile down here. It's no longer a problem for me specifically because I also do the deboost off the Ripper. So I'm going to get that tile no matter what. But important to keep in mind, you know, try not to wall jump too early. Let yourself slide a little bit down the wall to make sure that you get this tile down here, and then wall jump. That tile I have missed in runs a few times for sure. Then we're gonna get wave beam, best beam in the game, hands down. And then, you know, you can do this however you want. You can do the big jump, all good. I like doing the deboost just for fun. And then, so here we're going to go through the bottom door like new route. Try and unmorph as soon as you can. And then my cue to shoot is right here at this slope. This slope right here. And then, this next room, there's a couple different ways to do it. Honestly, I would actually watch a... actually, no. I was going to say a new route tutorial for the strats of this next room, because I don't know them all, but they also use spacers, so might be different. Yeah. Try to fix this door as well as you can. You want to jump high. You want to jump high enough so that the screen gets scrolled upwards, so you can align this door with the center of the screen, but you don't want to jump too high to where you just bonk right here on this corner. And then I try to get a mock ball like that. I think you can also charge a shot, let go of it, and does it open the door? It does. Okay, that's cool. So if you find this simpler, don't do the mock ball, charge a shot, and then let go. And it should always open the door. That should, for sure. Oh, it didn't. I'm not sure how the first one did then. The problem with wave beam, it's like super finicky sometimes with the way the particle moves. Spazer is going to be a lot more consistent. If you do get Spazer, I think this strat's a lot more consistent. Yeah, strange. Anyways, I mean, so what I do basically, I mock ball early, try to fix the door, and then I do a deboost off of the seahorse. If you don't want to go for the deboost, then you can just unmorph early, like that. If you won't do the deboost, then like I think it's smarter to just not take a hit at all, so you can conserve health. And then this shooting the door is kind of annoying. Yeah. Not sure how else to put it, but the way that wave beam moves Let me see if I can demonstrate it. There you go. That happens so often in my runs. I shoot like a frame too early, and the beam just barely like moves over the door, and it doesn't shoot it open. So I've done a couple different things to try and like circumvent this. I think the easiest way, honestly, is to select a missile and shoot it when you land, because a missile is not gonna like wave, like, you know, do all that weird wavy shit. If you don't do the deboost, you can also charge a shot. And so you charge a shot, and then when you start spinning, when you land, so charge a shot, start spinning, you can let go of shot then, and you know, you're not going to lose it or anything. And then when you land, Samus will automatically shoot the beam for you. So you shoot it at the very first frame that you can. So really convenient, like, kind of piece of tech that you can do. Like that. Yeah, you can coot. It is possible, but it's kind of inconsistent. I tried doing it a little bit before. If you have Spacer Beam when you're here, you can shoot the door open early. But yeah, it's just a bit awkward, I think. It's hard to set that up, the shot early kind of thing on the door. That's cool. Alright. So however you want to open that door, the spinning, letting go of shot, and landing is probably going to be the most consistent, followed by the missile, and then you just timing the shot properly. Just going to take a little bit of practice to get that timing down. That door, you know, can be pretty annoying. You do the deboost, and then you run through. And so this room is like kind of the first section of the lava dive that I was talking about. Spikes everywhere. This freaking guy keeps annoying you all the time. Honestly, worst part about the room is this Ripper. It ruins everything about the room. He just gets in your way. So I guess I'll just try and take it easy with some of these strats, and then I'll show like the hardest one that I go for. Yeah, like you can get stuck under this guy. It's so annoying. So try to do a pretty high jump here. Not too high to get hit by the spikes, obviously. Maybe wait a little bit, yeah. Maybe waiting a little bit is more consistent. So you don't get stuck under the Ripper. And then if you don't want to do that deboost off of that middle spike right here, if you find it a little bit too inconsistent, then you can just hobble on over. The problem is this shutter gate, it's going to be in your way. So maybe I would like hop over, wall jump off of that. That's my backup basically if I don't make it over here in time. I just wall jump. This room can get pretty out of hand pretty quickly. And then yeah, you can just ride that Ripper all the way. And then you can also deboost off of that last spike. You know, there's a variety of ways to like handle this room. There we go. Land on this guy. Unmorph, shoot the door open and jump into it. You can basically like hold, jump, and right, and I think you'll get it every time. Let's see. That I think I jumped too late. Go. Yeah, that's strange. So yeah, this room is just really annoying. This is definitely like top 5 rooms that you really need to practice for map completion. Okay, we land here. There we go. So, and then if you want to like fit that deboost in, then you should be able to make it past this gate. Yeah, there you go. That deboost is basically required to make it past this gate. This room feels really weird if I don't do my strat. I'll show it in a moment, but yeah. Taking care of this room is just... it's a mess. There you go. So the deboosts to fit in are like this one off the middle spike. When you're in the lava, you want to make sure that you're jumping. You don't want to like walk through it, because then you can get caught on this Ripper guy. There we go. Alright, so the strat that I go for, which is pretty rough, I jump into the lava and do a bounce ball, and that way I keep my momentum. Yeah, then I do that. The bounce ball is like 30 frames faster maybe, just because you're traveling through the lava a little bit faster. The problem is you have to get like a really tiny jump so you can like make it past this spike right here, the first one. I've gotten like really close to sub 6 with this strat. It's pretty fast. It's just hard to get all the deboosts like optimal and everything. This room is, like I said, a pain. And you can definitely lose lots of time in this room, because everything is so time-based. So if you don't go fast enough, you lose an exponential amount of time. What else? I would say the Rippers are the most important thing to watch out for, because you can get caught on them pretty easily, and they'll lose you time. Yeah, like that. Great example. Anyways, yeah, you can take it basically as slow as you want. As long as you make sure that you keep moving right. Try not to get stuck on the Ripper. Jump through them. I had something going on there. Now I lost it. There we go. Anyways. I would just say practice this room. I think maybe coming up with a strat that's most comfortable for you is going to be important. Something that you can get through the room in a reasonable amount of time so you're not losing too much health while still being consistent. Because if you're not consistent with your strat here, you can lose lots of health and lots of time. But yeah, I think that's all I can cover. The 2 or 3 most important deboosts to make sure you get down is the middle spikes for the first pit and the second pit, and then the deboost to get past the gate. If you don't get that deboost, then you basically have to like wall jump and try and maneuver around it. That gate's really annoying. It gets in your way if you're not fast enough. Alright, so for this room, you're going to do 1 jump and then 2 jumps and try to weave. It's kind of like the series room 1. Weave around the platforms. Yeah, and then once you get the weave, you're gonna want to shoot down. I count 1, 2, 3, 4. Shoot down on the 4th one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, so I do a jump here to try and get as close to the, like, morph tunnel as... I do the jump to get as quickly as I can into the morph tunnel. Because the sooner I can get out of the morph tunnel, the better. Because then I can start jumping again. And that's what's fastest. You want to unmorph right here towards the edge. Let me try and show it. So you want to unmorph here at the edge, basically so your jumps are 100% consistent. Every jump I'm doing here is I'm holding jump. I just hold it completely. Basically, like, it sets you up for 3 perfect jumps, basically. 2, 3, and then you're just going to want to jump into the door. One, 2, 3. The jumps are so you can save health, honestly, by getting out of the lava. And then I charge a shot coming into here. You don't have to charge a shot. You can use a missile. But like I said, I try not to use missiles that much, just so I can save them for later. So yeah, this room right here, very simple. I just land on this platform and then jump up. I try to hold a shot from here. And then I let go. I let go of shot in the door transition, so the charge automatically kills that orb guy. If you didn't do that, you can also do that with a missile. I don't know. I would just say to get a charge shot. If you don't charge a shot, you can use a missile on him. Whatever is most comfortable, I guess. I just like that charge shot so it like simplifies this room, because this room is like also top 5 most annoying map completion rooms there is. That's basically the gist of the room. This shot is the worst because you have like 10 things that are in your way. I find a missile to be most consistent. To open the door. The shot, I think, is a bit tighter. If you don't do it just right, it'll either go over the door or it'll hit the orb. So you have to basically time your shot to be in between the orb and the top of the door, basically. Yeah, I don't really like the wave shot too much. I think shooting the door with a missile is more consistent. And then you just try to get the deboost. I think I remember I saw Oates do the deboost like this, where he just stands on the platform and waits to get hit by the orb. If you find that more consistent, go ahead. You can just like jump into him. I think this is pretty consistent. Oh, you could probably even shoot the door open like that way. Here. So maybe an easier strat would be if the orb wasn't in your freaking way. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you can... You can open the door, but then you would be losing a lot of time. So I think that's like probably the simpler way to do it. But yeah, you kind of want to deboost off of this guy as soon as you can. And that's the strat. Just takes practice. That room is not easy. Definitely not easy. So here, since I have 12 missiles and 3 supers, like, I could actually skip the farm. The way I fight Croc, I tend to use lots of supers on him. So I try to farm as many supers as I can. If you want to skip this farm, you can just go ahead, turn around, and jump before the door. If you do want to farm, I guess I also didn't, yeah, let me mention this room too. I do it by wall jumping here and then doing a shot down grab, kind of like for full halfie. This is also viable. Ledge grab like that. If you want to shoot the door open early, you can do this. Oh yeah, you could also probably jump up here to this ledge first and then shoot like that. That works too. The fastest way is definitely to do that. So wall jump off of the middle platform, shot down grab. Yeah. Wall jumping's fastest. Cool. Good drops. Okay, so after you farm, make sure to jump through the door. Not too high because you can bonk on here. Towards the middle of the door is good. And then I like to try and shoot the door early. This is easier with Spazer Beam. With Wave Beam, you know, the beam can like kind of oscillate around the door and not hit it, which is annoying, but yeah, something like that. Shooting the door early as I can, so it's not in my way when I try jumping up here. The other way would be to I'm not sure if you can hit it from here. Let me check. You can, okay. So yeah, you could. The problem is then you could go too fast and bonk the door like I did. Yeah, so that's why I like shooting it as I'm jumping up. I kind of like swerve to the left a little bit to make sure that my shot hits the door, and then I just jump through. And then you can fit in a wall jump here. Last time I checked, the wall jump is a little bit faster. It's kind of tough to optimize it though, so I get it. You just want to make sure that you can jump into the maze. If you don't do the wall jump, then you kind of lose time here because your upwards velocity isn't that high. So you kind of just like float slowly up into the morph hole. And the nice thing about this tile, there's a couple things. Once you grab the drop from the Sova, because you saw I shot the Sova, it's a free farm. It's literally free. You lose barely any time. So it's kind of like the waiver going into the save room, you know. I just like farming it because maybe I can get a lucky super drop, which would be super pog. A health drop, maybe. Maybe get some missiles if I'm at 0 somehow. Yeah, so I like farming that Sova. And as soon as I grab the drop, I know I have the map tile, so I can instantly roll out. Basically, the whole point of like bombing this is just so you can get this bottom right tile. Because we won't be coming back here later when we're leaving Lower Norfair. So yeah, I would fit in that wall jump if you can. Makes the next room a little bit faster. If the Sova doesn't drop a drop, then obviously it's not gonna be as easy of a queue. So you can just watch the map to make sure you grab the tile and then go back out. Alright, and now we're going to be going to Croc. If you're super tight on drops and stuff, this is kind of a free farm too. My Q is basically to shoot when Samus is on this pillar right here in the background. Red pillar. It breaks the block here and then conveniently also kills these gamuts. So if you want to, you can grab those drops and then proceed. How much time do you lose? Actually, I don't remember the time. Yeah, you lose a second. Not the worst thing in the world, because you get 5 drops, so kind of worth. A second for 5 drops is not that bad. I'm trying to optimize this, but it seems kind of tight. There you go. So more like 50 seconds, I guess. Not, I mean, 50 frames, my bad. If you really try optimizing it. The jump is just to save frames. Jumping off of this platform saves frames because if you like run off, you're starting at a 0 velocity. If you jump off, then you're starting at some downwards velocity. However small it might be, it's still downwards velocity. So you're just starting at a different point basically of speed. Oh yeah, so I guess I should also mention, like, the reason why you want to jump around here is to make sure that you get this bottom right tile. The borders, the boundaries for this tile is like right here. A cool strat, I think, who did I see? I think it was either Wild or Oats. They actually did this D-boost. it's pretty swag. I really like doing it for a bit. It's like 20 frames slower, but I mean, looks cool as shit, so. I wonder if you can like shoot the gate open like this. But yeah, the deboost is slower, but you know, if you're going for swag, go for swag. I don't judge. But yeah, the fastest strat is to make sure you jump down here around this pillar. Shoot the gate open early. My cue is kind of when Samus's head, here. Well, I broke it, but once Samus's head passes this platform right here that I'm gonna shoot, then you should be able to open the shutter, the gate, and run through. There you go. If you have full supers, you can go ahead and go for this like hundo strat. Swag. Most of the time though, I feel like you won't have enough supers to be able to do this. So honestly, I would try to conserve your supers because the croc fight coming up is pretty involved. There's a lot of things that are going on in that fight. So yeah. The standard strat, just a KO. And then I shoot once I get past this second metal gamer guy. That's my cue. Once Samus is going past through this guy, then I shoot. And then this room, pretty simple. It's hard to like optimize this room by like throwing deboosts and stuff. I tried finding stuff that could maybe make this faster, but sadly you're just gonna have to do the boring old run and jump. Make sure when you're running through here, you hold angle. So in the next room, you stop on a dime. Just a tiny optimization. Like that. Alright, so the croc fight, lots of things to go over. It's more worth to farm at the wave gate that I was talking about earlier. Farming there right before croc, it's just slower. Like if you're gonna farm somewhere, I would definitely recommend farming at the croc wave gate farm rather than like that place where you just run and jump. So the optimal way to open this croc fight is to fit in 2 missiles and a super, because that way croc does he skips. Let me show it. Okay, that worked. Wait, why is this working? It's so weird. There you go. It skips this phase. Sometimes I guess it works like that. I don't know why, but And then, if you're extra, I don't know, bold, you can fit in a second super. So, let me try and show it off. Because you can see, like, Croc's mouth opens for, like, a frame the second time. Like that. And then you do, like, massive damage. The timing for this opener is really, really tight. So, you know, I don't blame you if it takes a lot of practice to get down. Croc in general is just really rough to optimize because it is RNG based. I forget, I think Zost had like a Q for this second super. There you go. So, I think Croc should do like 9 steps back after all that. If you manage to fit all that in. Yeah. So if you didn't know already, missiles do 2 steps back, supers do 3 steps back, and then charge beam does 2. Or sorry, missiles do 1. Missiles do 1, charge beam does 2, and supers do 3. And those are like consistent. The charge beam is consistent. It doesn't matter what beams you have selected. They'll always do 2 with charge. So basically what that opener does, 2 missiles, 1 super. You skip the extra phase where Croc is like programmed to do an extra swipe at you. So you skip that, and then if you fit in another super in there, you push back Croc by, let me do math. Yeah, 8. So he steps back 8 times in one phase, basically. So it saves a lot of time, not even just because you get all that in, but also it skips a lot of RNG that you could potentially get. So if you can reduce the amount of RNG that you can get from Croc, obviously that's a huge plus, and that's really the reason why I go for this. Because in a way, it kind of makes Croc more consistent because there's less coin flips that you're gonna get. And then for subsequent phases, I try and shoot 3 missiles into his mouth until I'm basically out of missiles, and then charge beam from there. So it goes 2 missiles, 1 super, first opening phase, and then you can try and fit in that second super. Very tight window. I think it's only 1 or 2 frames, so you don't have to go for that one. Because also you kind of, if you do go for it and you miss the super, then now you're down a super, and that's also pretty bad. You want to make sure that you get like maximum value out of your supers here. And then after that, if I still have supers, I'll do 2 missiles, 1 super, 2 missiles, 1 super, until I'm out of supers, and then 3 missiles, and then charge beam. So yeah, I use all of my ammo on Croc, just trying to optimize the fight as much as I can. I can understand like maybe saving a super here in this fight just so you don't lose so much time opening the missile doors after Croc. That's totally fine as well. You lose, I think, a second. Having to open a red door with missiles rather than a super. If you're gonna shoot 2 missiles, it would benefit you much more to use charge beam instead. Just to save those missiles. Because 2 missiles does the same amount of knockback as charge beam, so you might as well just use charge beam. Alright, let's just save there. So yeah, that's the opener. 2 missiles, 1 super. You can fit in the second super if you want. Very tight window. And then from there, since I have 2 supers left over, I'm going to do 2 missiles, 1 super, twice. Alright, there you go. And then Croc is down. So that's a really fast fight, honestly. That's a good fight. I also had 5 supers going into here, or 4, sorry. 4 is, like, insanely good. Usually I don't get that kind of RNG in runs. But if you do have 4 supers coming into the Croc fight, like, you know, definitely take full advantage of it. What? I missed the 3rd missile there. Missing that 3rd missile, I think in this case wouldn't make a difference. Because then I would still have to shoot 1 extra missile in to make sure that Croc fell in. So yeah. What else? That's the fight, basically. Once you're out of supers, I try to fit in 3 missiles, or you can just fit in 2. That's fine. Using charge beam. And the fight's pretty RNG based. So you can lose like 15-20 seconds on Croc alone just from bad RNG. It sucks. Yeah. So even though I fit in 3 missiles, I still needed 1 extra missile to get Croc in there. The reason for that is because I got that second super in right in the opener. Usually I don't. Kind of messes up the damage calculations, I guess. But yeah, that's the fight. It's really fast fight if you can nail all of those openers and the 2 missiles, 1 super. Because 2 missiles, 1 super is 5 knockback on Croc. That kind of mitigates a lot of the potential RNG that you could get. So yeah. And then, okay. So, like I mentioned before in the other tutorial, boss fights have the minimap turned off. So you want to make sure that you stick around the E-tank until the minimap turns back on. So that way you can grab these tiles, these 2 tiles. What I like to do while I'm waiting is to open the wraparound, or open the door by doing a wraparound shot. I'm not sure how to show this exactly, but what I do is I try to put Samus's front toe on the middle line of the pedestal on the 2nd row on the right. I don't know how to show this. Samus's front toe here is like in line with one of the lines on the pedestal, one of the black lines. The middle one on the right side basically is what I try to shoot for. Right here. I mean, you can come up with whatever cue you want for this, but this is the correct positioning. You charge a shot, and then you should be able to do a wraparound shot and hit the door on the other side. From this exact position, it is pixel perfect. Any wraparound shot with wave beam is always going to be pixel perfect because of the way the beam works without spazer. Right there. I'll try and like find a photo for it and like put it up on the wiki or something to show exactly what the cue is I'm looking at. But yeah, it's her front toe, and then you want to line it up with one of the black lines, the middle one on the right side. And that should be about it. So once you get the wraparound shot... Whoops, I didn't get it that time. Alright, there you go. There we go. Now we just wait for Croc. I'm not going to be going over how to use a spike suit in this tutorial. You lose lots of time trying to save your spike suit for this long because you have to go through so many rooms, all without space jump, all without screw attack. It just gets really bothersome, especially since you have to collect all the tiles. At most, spike suit is only going to save 2 to 3 seconds. It's such a small amount of time saved for such like added effort that I'm honestly not even gonna do it. But you can if you want to. It just takes a lot of workaround for it. By the way, my cue to start doing the short charge is when Croc's head starts falling. And then I aim for Croc's nose. Right here. That's where I try to aim my spark. Nice. And if you get a super drop from Croc, like I said, even one super drop from Croc is like pretty freaking good RNG. The most I've ever seen, like even in practice, the most I've ever gotten is 3 supers. I've never gotten more than 3. In runs, the most I've gotten is 2, maybe 3, but yeah. Super drops are not very common from Croc, so that's also maybe another reason why you want to like hold back on your supers. Yeah. Just so you can open one of these red doors with one. Because you do... Let's see exactly how much time you lose. 216 compared to... Yeah, so you lose 40 frames by having a missile. So it might be worth just to save a super. It's kind of up to the runner, really. And then we do the spark, we get the power bombs. The rest of this is kind of like early Croc. The same Moonfall. And then opening this door with missiles because I have to. Otherwise I would use a super. And then this room, cosine room is kind of cool in a lot of ways. I like to farm these bugs for another super because you do need at least one super when you're going into the grapple playground area because there's a green gate at the end. So you need at least one super leaving cosine missiles. There is another farm in the room with the green gate, but that farm loses way more time than this one, so if you're at 0 supers, I would recommend farming these guys. No farm strat is pretty simple. You just want to aim for the second half of this spike. Try and aim for like the right half. If you go for the left half, you might not get the tile at the end. So aim for the right half of the spike to make sure you get the tile, and then you can just deboost back and morph out. Roll out. Okay, that one also grabbed the tile. That's interesting. Cool, yeah. I have missed the tile before, even doing this deboost. I guess I just, you know, try not to do it too far left. Try not to optimize it too much, basically. And then one version of the farm strat, I think I saw Wild do this. You go like that. But that kind of requires a really optimal room to be able to get that farm consistent. Like that. What I like to do actually is to shoot the bugs early. And land on the drops. And then proceed like that. The time difference is about the same, it looks like. Yeah, it's about the same. So really it's just whatever you're most comfortable with. Yeah, they're the same. So whatever you're more comfortable with. I like doing this strat because it's also what I do in early Croc Hundo. Just make sure that you get a super drop is all. As long as you leave this room with 1 super, you're good. That's all you need. You can farm more if you want. Okay. And then here, sometimes you can buffer right and you just fall off the ledge, but you need like a specific speed value. That's not always consistent because sometimes the lava or the acid cycle in the cosine room will fuck you up. So instead, what I started doing is when I fall off, I let go of D-pad and then I tap right. Basically, I'm aiming for in the background. I guess, yeah, I guess there isn't really, you don't really need a cue for this because it's kind of obvious. Just make sure not to shoot this viola. Sometimes like my shot accidentally hits this viola, so you don't want to be too far left. I just try to aim for like this little space right here. In between, in the background, there's like the little rock poking out, the small rock in the background, and then the big rock poking in the background. I try to be in between those two rocks. The little rock and then the pointy rock, the big pointy rock right there. And then obviously, you know, you want to have power bomb selected when you come in here. And then lay a power bomb as soon as you can. And then this is a 1-tap. I guess if you want to make sure that it's super consistent, you can fit in a stutter too. But really all you need is a 1-tap. My tap is right before I hit these blocks. I pretend as if these blocks were still here, right? Even though they're breaking. And I just tap right as I touch them, basically. As if they were still there. That's my cue for the 1-tap. And then also make sure, I've done this before, but you know, this is how I lost one of my Mappa runs. You want to make sure that you land up here. So this is the boundary of the tile. If you're too far left, you won't even grab the tile. So you want to make sure that Samus is well past the ledge to grab it, and then just moonfall down. So yeah, basically don't optimize it too much. You want to be a little bit sloppy to grab the tile. And then when you moonfall, hold right. Because you want to grab this tile right here in the middle. I think if you're too lazy with your moonfall, you can like miss it. So yeah, make sure you're holding right out of the moonfall. And then I like to stop when I hit the slope, basically. This second one. Not the first one, but the second one. I guess I actually don't even have to go that far back. You just don't want to cut your run back too short because you want to grab this tile in the back, obviously. This tile right here. So yeah, here's the boundary. So I guess probably a better cue to optimize it is to stop once you've made it past the ledge, then you can start running left again. Oh yeah, so after the moonfall, make sure to shoot a shot, because there's going to be one little annoying bug in your way. Alright, so this is like a pretty lame strat, honestly. Like, everyone always says, like, dude, it looks like you're messing up when you do this room. And it does, but it's pretty much the fastest way to collect these tiles. What's this room called? I think it's called Grapple Playground. Pre-grapple room, whatever. But yeah, it's a big room, so no matter what you come up, it's always going to look like you're messing up. Because these tiles are super annoying. There's lots to collect. So what I do basically is one full jump. You can cut your jump short. But every time I cut my jump short in runs, I always miss that top left corner, so I've stopped doing that. To make it 100% consistent, just make sure you hold jump the whole time so you can get this top left corner. And then once you've hit this wall, then you can start holding right. And then I do sort of like a mid-sized jump. There's really no good cue for this second jump. It's kind of just feeling. I would play around with it. Then usually I try to wall jump off here. That's like the most optimal thing to do. To wall jump off this ledge, land on the yellow platforms. But yeah, sometimes that's not like very easy to see. So for consistency, I would just hold right maybe. Make sure you land on the platform, then jump. What you want to do is on the third platform, so you count the platforms you're jumping on. 1, 2, 3, and then on this one, trying to get a full running jump as much as you can to get back up here. Let me try and show off the wall jump. There you go. I think I've only gotten it like once in runs, so it's yeah. It's not the freest thing in the world. And then we get grapple beam. After grapple beam, I like to do 1, 2, 3, 4 wall jumps. However you want to like space them out. I find 4 wall jumps to be pretty comfy. And then MM2 showed me that you can actually shot down grab this door. Kind of like full halfy. And then optimally, you want to do 2 ledge grabs after another. So down grab, ledge grab like that. That would be the most optimal way to get up. What I used to do is do like an angle up shot. And get up on the top block. But yeah, this like block right here, it really gets in your way, kind of cramps your style a little bit. It's pretty annoying. So I find it more consistent just to go like that. Do 2 ledge grabs. Alright, and then this room, really simple. Just run and jump. That's it. And then I like to have power bomb selected here. Just so in the next 2 rooms, I'll have really easy switch to grapple. Just 1 and shoot, basically. It sucks that grapple's like 4 taps away, you know? It's brutal. I think that's like the one downside of grapple beam is like it's too far away. You have to do 4 taps to get to it. But yeah. Make sure you have power bomb selected so it's easy to switch to grapple. This room can get pretty annoying because of these Namahes. If you mess up, you're basically going to get hit by a fireball, which is annoying. You don't want to get hit. You need to conserve health, of course. So I do 1 weave up to this platform, a jump up here, and to optimize it, I do a down grab and then another down grab. So one jump, 2 jump, 3 jump. The second jump and the third jump are shot down grabs. And then you want to jump through the door. It's super important that you jump through the door. So you can land right here. And then also the jump fixes the door ever so slightly. Without the jump... Well, I bonked there, so yeah, I don't know. I have had it where the door isn't fixed, but yeah. This room's gonna take a little bit of practice. It's on the same level of awkwardness like Wreck Ship Shaft, because of like high jump and speed combined. You're kind of like floating all over the place. So it does take some practice to get used to the jumps. There we go. That's a good room. So I try to aim. It's kind of hard to like explain my visual cue because if you look at the background, it's all the same kind of mess. So what I do is like I imagine that this block is extended out 2 tiles to the right. And what I want to do is I want to fall on the tile, you know, 2 spaces to the right of this one. I like extend it out, you know, visually. Try to imagine it. It doesn't have to be pixel perfect. All you're trying to do is land on this ledge, but you can't see it right when you're going through the room. So you kind of have to like wing it a little bit, visualize it as if it was there. And then you're gonna select a grapple. Also, if you just forgot to farm supers and you're at 0, this is the farm where you can do it. It's just a little bit slower because you're like stuck in water. So yeah, here I select a grapple. I land on this block here. I go on this second ledge here, and then jump shoot, angle up to grapple onto the blocks. So yeah, you land on this ledge here, jump up, swing and grapple swing. Oh yeah, also, talking about grapple, so here's like the first instance where you are going to do grapple swings. For the most part, it's most optimal to aim, once you latch onto a block, you want to press down. So now you're swinging like this. This way you get more horizontal velocity, basically. And you stay closer to the ground. If you didn't do that, let's just show it off. Now you're floating in the air longer. Whereas if you press down, then you're not in the air as much. And then also, the other optimization that I just did there. As soon as I let go, as soon as I unlatch from the block and I'm in the air, if you have upwards velocity, you can shoot grapple to immediately stop it and you start falling. It's just a weird property of how grapple beam works, basically, but if you want to optimize your swings, you want to shoot grapple as soon as you can after unlatching. So you just fall down instantly, rather than floating up for a little bit. So each grapple swing I do consists of pressing down, so now I'm in a longer swing, and then I unlatch by letting go of shot, and then I press shot instantly again. All that combined should give you like the most optimal grapple swings there are. There are exceptions, you know, to like not pressing shot or not pressing down, but for the most part, grapple swings are optimized in that way, basically. And then here you want to do a small jump as you can. As soon as I see that I grab the top right tile in the map, then I tap left. Or not tap left, but I hold left. And then you should always get this bottom right tile here. Sometimes I have missed this bottom right tile if I don't swing out right far enough. But if you look at the mini-map, you should never miss it. I think my queue is pretty consistent. Once getting this queue, I don't think I've ever missed the bottom right tile. So yeah, I do a small hop. As soon as I grab the top right tile, I go left. And then I try to shoot grapple and kill those worms. And basically when I kill those worms, Samus's vertical momentum is reset, and that way I can get onto the ledge. It's kind of like I'm kind of like floating in air, so I can move to the left without falling, basically. Yeah. Yeah, that time I didn't grab the tile because I grappled the worm too quickly. There we go. So yeah, that's the strat. If you grapple these two worms, then you reset your momentum twice, and that way you should be able to land on this platform. I think I've also landed on this platform too before. So that's also possible. So yeah, if you don't get those 2 worms, then you fall here. Not the biggest deal in the world. You just have to do an extra jump. So you're losing maybe like 15 frames, 20 frames. The timing to grapple the worm is like all feeling for me, basically. Oh, well, that time, yeah, that was good. Yeah, there you go. And then you just grapple over again. Shoot the gate with the super. Alright, that time I missed it. Let me see if I can just show off the whole thing again in one go. There you go. That worked. And that's the whole room, basically. This, yeah, this room is really annoying to optimize, get it down, like, perfectly. And then this room is also, like, one of the hardest rooms if you do have a spike suit. Because instead of grappling from here and just jumping, you have to come up here to grapple on the block. And then similarly, if you do have spike suit, you gotta come up here to grapple the block. And then you can't press R to angle up and shoot the gate. You either have to shoot it horizontally or shoot it upwards after you land. You have to make sure you're on ground before you press up. So it just like overcomplicates this room. And it makes it slower, honestly, because you can't do those little optimizations. And then you want to make sure that you're holding angle up and shot when you're going into this room. So that way you can just let go. And shoot the door open. And then a cool cue that I found out. If you slide against this edge of the door, you have to make sure that you're touching it. And then you're holding a shot. If you let go of shot, you should kill the enemies every time. As long as you slid up the wall. You like normalize your subpixels, and your shot will kill the enemies. So that way you can farm the bugs, shoot the door open, and run through without having to stop. Super nice. So I let go of shot in the door, so it instantly kills the bugs. And there you go. And you farm the drops. Here, I'm looking to leave with 2 or 3 supers. You can deal with either 2 or 3 supers. But obviously, I would recommend leaving with 3. 2 is really pushing it. But yeah, 3 is I would say the recommended minimum, but required minimum would be 2. So yeah, 3, perfectly fine. Oh yeah, and then this door, do not wall jump check. Make sure you run through it. And then you can actually turn around, like you see how I already turned around in the door. You can turn around, I mean, not as early as you can, but turn around while still going through the door. Turn around as early as you can while still going through the door. And you'll be put in a pretty great spot to just shoot the door open and run through. And then my cue to jump up to this platform is right here. Right after the first slope. If you jump too early, it's kind of awkward, in my opinion, to like try and get a like nice ledge grab up here. So that's why I prefer to jump a little bit later. The time save, or the time difference, I guess, is there's no difference really. Yeah, so it's like 2:11 here versus jumping early. Yeah, 2:13, 2:09. Two of 4. So yeah, almost the same. So that's why I prefer jumping a little bit sooner, or a little bit. I prefer jumping later, right after the first slope, so that my ledge grab's a little cleaner. I just like having cleaner ledge grabs. And then I do 2 jumps up. 1, 2. Alright. And then this shot right here. Well, first off, there's 2 ways to do this. Either you want to do a jump kind of like upper rising tide, where you bounce ball off the right side of this pillar, and you bounce ball off and then you land here, or you can do a quick morph before you hit the ceiling to bounce ball off this 3rd pillar and to land here. Either works. And then when you land here, my cue to release the shot is right around here. After this patch of weeds or whatever they are, I let go of shot, and that should open the door. And then the jump turnaround, it's kind of hard to explain. It's really feeling more than anything else. You know, I would practice, I would just practice like kind of feeling the timing out. This jump turnaround is just to fix the door, really. That's all it is. And yeah, that's about it for Croc. So here I do 2 shots to kill the cack. I'm just holding jump the whole time. And that should give you enough time to kill the cack and land on this ledge. And then I select a missile to kill the second one. And then I select grapple. To open the door. Basically, the grapple opens the door sooner than the shot, because grapple moves faster than a shot would. Like that. See, I bonked, but if I had grapple selected, yeah, there you go. I don't bonk. So I really like having grapple for opening doors. Generally, that is going to be the fastest way to do it, because then you don't have to like halt your momentum for a little bit. There you go. Okay. And then here, hold right, shoot it with a grapple beam or whatever. Yeah, so I shoot the door open with a grapple beam, and then I deselect, grapple here, and then I just run through. Don't jump early. What I kind of figured out about this jump here, it's really neat how it works, but basically as long as you have some speed entering this door, right, just make sure you don't jump, you're running. What I do is I hold jump and right in the door transition. As soon as I see Samus start jumping, I let go of right. So Samus kind of just does a standing turnaround. Like that. Just, you know, kind of play around with it, get used to the timing. But yeah, that way Samus fits into this little hole every time. So you don't have to like bother trying to like jump around here and whatnot. Super consistent, pretty quick too. And then, so entering this next room is kind of annoying. Optimally, what I try to go for is let me see if I can show it again. I got it first try, but I didn't really explain it. Okay, that should work. So, yeah. I try to jump in the door in such a way that I make it past this ledge, and then I aim down so I can weave around this platform here, and then just do a single jump up here. That jump through the door is nice for two reasons. One, for that weave I just explained, and then also it fixes this door coming in here. Because if you just run through like this, the door is pretty bad. So that's why I like to just jump through the door. It fixes the door, and then I hold down. I weave around the platforms. Then I do the bounce ball, which I'll explain. Okay, I think that'll work. Yeah, cool. So I weave around this platform. Also, another nice thing about aiming down is, like, if you press right a little bit too early, you'll kind of like do a Kago-esque type thing where you still, if you turn around a bit too early, you'll still move upwards, even though you're kind of like bonking the ledge, and you'll kind of get pushed up. So that's the nice thing about aiming down. And then I try to jump and hit bonk on this side right here, the bigger one. You don't want to bonk too late because then you're going to miss the ledge. So yeah, what I do is I do a spinning jump. Once I bonk, I turn into a ball. And then if you do have moonwalk, just kind of moonwalk back until you hit this tile, and then run up and jump. So yeah, you jump, do a bounce ball. Yeah, so that was me jumping too late. If you don't have moonwalk, that's fine. You can also do this jumping thing that I'll show. So yeah, you moonwalk back. Whoops. You don't want to run for too long, because that'll happen. So you moonwalk back. I skipped that missile. You can also grab this missile faster than Green Brain Reserve. It's faster than speed. It's also faster than high jump missiles to grab this missile. So yeah. I think this is probably the fastest missile to pick up if you're going for more than 20 missiles, which is my route. So if you want 1 or 2 extra missiles, then definitely grab this one. I skip it though, so you know. I go for 20. It's no big deal. If you don't have moonwalk, this is what you can do. Oh well, that worked, but you just do kind of like a big jump. Make sure you grab the tile, and then you have. So you want to do a big jump to make sure you can go far enough left to grab the tile, and then still be able to make it back to the ledge. But I kind of landed well enough to where I already grabbed the tile. So yeah, I guess that works too. And then you can just run up and jump. If you're grabbing the missile, it's pretty easy. You just hold up, or angle up. I like to use the D-pad for this. Once you see Samus start moving again, you can shoot and mock ball. That's basically my cue. As soon as Samus starts moving, shoot, mock ball. If you're skipping it, then shoot the gate as you're jumping over it. Like that. You can honestly probably shoot the door open early too, if you're doing that strat. But it's like, it's too many buttons for me all at the same time. I don't know if I can. Oh yeah, you actually, this is smart. Come on. Anyways. Pretty tight, but if you want to go for it, you can. I just like to do that. Right here, and then in this room, I try to stop around here in between the two slopes. One slope, two slope, right here in the middle. I angle up shot to break these blocks. And then I ledge grab here onto this ledge. And then wall jump, wall jump ball. Kind of like Alcatraz, but in the reverse input order. I mean, depending on how you do it, I guess. Or maybe it is just Alcatraz for you. And then the power bomb placement should be above the Sova. And try to take a hit from the Sova so you get a little bit of lag reduction. That was so early. I don't know why I did that. There we go. Don't wall jump check this door. I aim down there to like try and fix the door as much as I can. Anyways, and then here I try to fit in 2 extra Sova farms, you know, just in case I'm running low on supers. 4 supers here is actually fine, so I don't need to farm them. If I had 2 or 3, or honestly, even if I have low health like right now, I kind of think this is a little bit on the low side. Yeah, these Sova farms are just nice for all those things. Either way, you want to jump through the door. To farm, I hold angle up and I shoot. Pretty much as early as you want. Well, not too early. Yeah, because that kills the bottom Sova. And then I can farm the other Sova up here. So as I'm waiting for this Sova farm right here, I also shoot up to kill that one. And then you climb up the right side of Business Center. I usually don't skip this farm, but if I was going to, then you can just wall jump up here like this. Whoops. Wall jump on that ledge, or you can wall jump on this one. All the same. Or you can ledge grab like that. Whichever way is most comfortable if you don't want to farm the Sovas. But I really like farming the Sovas, so I'm going to do it. Oh yeah, and then you want to have power bomb selected here. But yeah. At this point, I'm done with Norfair, so I've already been going for 2 hours. I think that's pretty long for a tutorial of this scale. So, yeah, I think that's going to be it for Norfair. Next part, hopefully, is going to be Red Tower and Criteria. Mostly wreck ship. Maybe I won't finish it, but yeah. And that's it for the part 2 of the Mappo tutorial. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. Hope it's helpful.